Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalam ala rasulihi kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. But Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Beginning Thursday night class, Arabic 101, lesson number 4 from the Medina book 1. We're going to conclude what we had left of lesson 3 and begin lesson 1 inshallah ta'ala. We were concluding on the al. Assalamu alaikum. We were concluding last week lesson 3, al, covering definite articles. We're going to conclude that now and then we'll begin lesson 4 inshallah ta'ala. Okay. What we were covering in terms of definite articles is al-hurufu qamariya wal hurufu shamsiya, the sun letters and the moon letters. So in this section we're dealing with hurufu qamariya, the first page after the title, hurufu qamariya. First we want to mention the harf. The harf is from the 3 parts of speech in Arabic. We mentioned before, in fact back when we were in old building, we mentioned that there's 3 parts of speech, right? Whereas English has 8. And the 8 are covered in the 3 in Arabic. We have the ism, which is the noun and everything covered under the nouns, adjectives, etc. We have the we have the fa'il, which is the verbs. And then we have the harf. The harf are particles, the harf are letters. In this case, we're dealing with the harf as alphabet letters. The plural of harf is huruf. So when we say hurufu qamariya, we mean plural, the sun letters, the moon letters. The letters related to the moon. And we call them, the moon is qamar, not to be mistaken for khamar, which is intoxicants, alcohol, but qamar with the qaf. And we have on the end, you'll see at the right hand side of the page, we have the iya written separately. This iya is an important thing to know. This, learning Arabic with the Quran is an excellent way to learn the Arabic, because primarily you want to learn to read the Quran, you want to understand meanings of the Quran, read hadith, things like that, right? But the way that this Medina book is set up is like, it's a powerful educational tool for Arabic because it's jam-packed with benefits all the way across. From the beginning page of the Medina book to when you finish them. Every segment has some benefit. So here we have this suffix iya, where you have the I, Y, 2 Y's and an A and an H. You have the Tamabuda, but it's iya, qamariya. Iya is important because it describes isms. It's a suffix that matches like ism, it matches ship, it matches words like hood, like if you say prophethood, you say nabawiya, prophethood, right? If you say uluhiya, worship. If you say rububiyya, lordship. So that iya on the end is a suffix that means a number of different suffixes in English depending on the word that it's applied to, right? Like Sufiya, Sufism, right? Like that. So qamariya means those things related to the moon. The qamar, the moon, qamariya, related to the moon. And the suffix iya is important because you're going to see it in a lot of places, and it refers to basically what? A state of being, right? Like you say dhikriya, now you have remembrance, the A and C on the end. So that iya will match a lot of different types of suffixes or endings that you'll find on words in English, okay? And by understanding what iya is doing, even if you don't know necessarily what the word means in English. When you're doing your research, by understanding what that suffix iya is doing, it gives you an idea that you're dealing with a concept. You're dealing with a state of things. Like if you say you have words like Salafia, right? You hear these words all the time. Salafia, Salafia. People are talking, saying a word like it describes a clique, like they're describing themselves as part of a group. You know, the people who say I'm Salafi, and they're identifying themselves as part of a group. So in some people's case, a clique, because even inside of groups, you have groups, right? Another person here says I'm Sufi, but they're defining themselves as part of a group called the Sufis, right? But in reality, tasawwuf or Sufiya, as it means in terms of asceticism, is not being caught up in the world, traveling like you're visiting the world. See, that's the reality of Islam. When it's talking about Salafiyya, it's not talking about being part of some group. There's some brand new concept in Islam. It's talking about an ism, a state of being. What kind of state of being? You're saying those people who were with Prophet Muhammad, I want to be like them. Because the word Salaf means predecessor. It means your ancestors, right? Okay, so when they use a word like Salaf or Salih, they mean righteous predecessors. Because our parents, George Washington is a Salaf, for example, to Trump. You know what I mean? He's a predecessor, right? Nat Turner is a predecessor to Malcolm or us, like that as African Americans. So when you describe the companions, you're saying Salaf or Salih, because Salih means righteous, our ancestors indeed. So that term Iya is supposed to mean I live my life trying to be like them. I want to have the kind of iman they had. I want to have the kind of humility they had. You have a person like Umar ibn al-Khattab, who Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, you are from the 10 people that he got the good news about being from Jannah. You have Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam right here telling you, you're going to Jannah. But when he passed away, he had also told Hudayfa who the hypocrites were. And from time to time, Umar ibn al-Khattab would go to Hudayfa, tell me the truth. Am I from the hypocrites? He had the glad tidings of being from the people of Jannah, but his humility caused him to still doubt. You know, am I doing right? Have I lost that grace? You know, Rasulullah said that, but have I done something since then that maybe I'm no longer in that category, right? So being like them means not running around the world acting like I know I'm guaranteed Jannah. Not operating like the Christians do with this idea of being saved because they took a name, right? So all these ears, when you see it here, Qamariya, it's meaning it's a state of being connected. So moon letters, it means that a letter is in a kind of condition where you can say al in front of it. Qamariya means being in a condition where you can say al when it's a definite word, definite article. Okay, so this is the moon letters. So the first of the moon letters is Aleph. We're going to go through the letters that are moon letters, and then we're going to use some word examples that connect with the moon letters. But what's important is to know that the moon letters and the sun letters are divided in the alphabet. The alphabet consists of basically 28 letters, not dealing with Hamza, for example, 28 letters. And alhamdulillah, they're split equally in half. Half are moon letters, half are sun letters. So even if you stop, if we covered these moon letters and you stopped, and you say, I don't want to do any more of the class. I don't want to do any more. I don't want to hear the rest of the class. I don't want to study any more notes. If you just took the first 14 letters that are moon letters, if you mastered them, what does that leave you with? Knowledge of the sun letters, right? Because if you know all the moon letters, there's nothing to study all over again. There's no new knowledge you have to get because the other 14 are obviously now sun letters. So the first of the moon letters is Aleph. The second is Ba. The third letter is Jim. The fourth of the letters is Ha. And another thing that's beautiful, this Arabic is, when you think about the fact that Allah Ta'ala chose Arabic for his final revelation, we must never think that Allah came along and found Arabs or found the Arabic language and said, you know, this might be a good language to use for this final revelation. When Allah told the pen 50,000 years before he created other things, when he told the pen to write, and he told the pen to write everything that would take place from now till the day of judgment, he already knew, it's already written, that he would use this language as the language of the final revelation. But when you look at the moon letters, for the sun letters and the moon letters, another benefit of the Arabic is that you don't have to study a whole lot of things. With the moon letters, you know how the letters are in families, like Jim, Ha, and Kha, they're in a family, right? If the first letter of that family is a sun letter, you can count on that whole family being a sun letter. If the first letter in that family is a moon letter, you can count on that whole family being moon letters. So since Jim is a moon letter, Ha and Ha are going to be moon letters. You see? All of the letters that are in the same families will be under the same ear. And if the first letter is Qamariya, then the rest of the letters in that family are Qamariya. So the same thing with Ain and Ghain are from the moon letters. Fa and Qaf are from the moon letters. Kaf and Mim are from the moon letters. Ha, Waw, and Ya are from the moon letters. So that means that all of these letters are letters that if a word begins with them, and it's a definite article, you will be able to say al, as opposed to doubling. Here's some examples of some of the words beginning with the moon letters and having the definite article. On our next sheet, you see al-ab, al-abu, al-abu, like the father, al-abu, the father, al-bab, for the letter ba, al-bab, the door. Now another thing too is that if you ever find yourself reading and you want to get an idea and say you're looking up words in Arabic, if you find al, the definite article in front of a word, the one thing you know for a fact is that it's an ism. You know it's not going to be a verb. It's not going to be a verb because it's a definite article, which refers to a noun. It has, if anything can be called the such and such, then it has to be an ism. Okay? Al-bab, al-jannah. That's using an example of the jim. Al-himar, al-himar. For the kha, al-khubz. For the ayn, al-ayn. For the ghain, al-ghada, al-ghada. For the fa, al-fem. For the qaf, and we see a star there because for the qaf we're using the word qamar, al-qamar. For the kaf, the equivalent of our letter K, al-kalb. For the meme, al-ma'u. See, all of these letters that are allowing you to pronounce the L when you say al are moon letters. If it was a sun letter, then, as we see in the following example, we'd have to double the letters when it's a definite article. Al-hawa'u, the soft ha on the end of the alphabet. Al-waladu, for the waw. Al-yad, for the ya. Then we have hurufu shamsiya. Hurufu shamsiya. And we know that harf is the letter and huruf is the plural of that. And shams is the sun. So, shamsiya means being in a state. Whatever rule applies to the shams letters, shamsiya means being in a state of that. And it means being in a state that if it's a definite article, you have to double the letter. Okay? So we have sun letters. They begin with the letter ta. And remember again, the rule is, if the letters are in the same family, if the first letter is a sun letter, you can count that the rest of them will be sun letters, the first letter in that family. So since ta is a sun letter, that leaves us to understand what about tha? That's a sun letter, naam. So any of the letters, when you see the first letter in that family, you automatically know the second. There's no, that's the other thing that's great about it too, that there's a lot less to work with and record and memorize than people might think. Sometimes people think the idea of learning the Arabic, is going to be a serious or major struggle, but it's so consistent that you can count on a thing. For example, the letter tha, the th sound in Arabic, the letter tha is always going to be tha, right? It's always going to be the same sound as in thistle, thorough, thoughtful. In English, we have two th sounds to deal with. We have the TH sound in thistle. We have the TH sound in those. Arabic, you can count on a thing being what it is no matter what you're doing. Okay? And you have the rules that apply here. So the next of the sun letters is Dal. So we know by Dal being a sun letter that Thel is also going to be a sun letter, right? And Ra, the letter Ra is a sun letter. Since there's another letter that looks just like it, just happens to have a dot on it, the Zay is also going to be a sun letter. So these are letters where if you were using them as a definite, if you say thamarat, like the fruits, you say athamarat. You say a dhikr, yeah. You say ar-Rahman, right? Az-Zubair. You're going to double these letters when it's a definite article. Seen, since seen is a sun letter, and we know it's a sun letter because we say assalamu alaikum. We don't say al-salamu alaikum. We say as. So we know we double the seen. So since seen is a sun letter, it only follows that sheen, being in the same family with it, is going to be a sun letter. The letter Sod, the letter that begins the word Salah, the prayer, Salah. The letter Sod is a sun letter. Then the one that looks just like it with a dot is going to be a sun letter, which is Dod, right? The letter Ta, that hard thumping T sound, the Ta, that's not like tab, but Ta, it's a sun letter. So since it's a sun letter, then the letter that looks like it, that has a dot on it, Tha, is also a sun letter. So you have these things that make learning easy, because if you got one in the family, you've got all of them. Lam. The letter Lam is a sun letter, and it's doubled. And then Noon. The last of the sun letters is the letter Noon, like An-Nur, Noon. And some examples of words that are definite articles beginning with these sun letters would be, for example, At-Tajiru. At-Tajiru, At-Tajir, like a merchant, At-Tajiru, okay? At-Tajiru. So you won't say Al-Tajiru, you say At-Tajiru. At-Thob, 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 like a garment, clothing. Ad-Dikun, Ad-Dikun, that's the Dal. Al-Dhahabu, Al-Dhahabu, that's Thal. Ar-Rajulu, 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 that's the Ra. Az-Zahra, Az-Zahratu, Az-Zahra, that's the Zay. As-Samak, 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 that's the Seen. And of course, Ash-Shamsu, Ash-Shams, that's the sun, the Shams. We have the star there because that's the word from which we take the names of these letters. As-Sadru, 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 the Sad is a sun letter, so it's doubled. And of course, Ad-Daif, Ad-Daif. Ad-Daif is your visitor, your guest, Ad-Daif. And that's the Dod, so of course it takes the double. At-Talib, At-Talibu, At-Talib, Talib, student, At-Talibu. The Ta is double, therefore the Tha is going to be double. We say At-Dhahru, At-Dhahru. This refers to like your back or your spine, At-Dhahru. Now what's interesting is, this same root letters, when you have a Dhamma on the Dha, the same word is the Noon Salah, At-Dhuhr. Just changing the Dhamma. So the meaning of it is different just for the Dhamma. It refers to Dhuhr. That's how the word looks for the Salatul Dhuhr. Okay. Al-Lahm, Al-Lahmu, Lahm is meat or flesh. Like Allah Ta'ala refers to things like Lahmi Tayran, like how they be fortunate to have the flesh of fowls in Jannah, as much as they want. Lahm. Lahm means meat or flesh. and of course, and Najmu. And we learned Najm early on in the book, which is the star, right? And Najm, the star. Okay. So the Tamreen, the exercise that was required with 3 as we close out, is to read the following words and write them with the correct endings. Write them correctly as they would be if it's a sun letter or a moon letter. So when you see the first one is al-bait, then you know that you would put the sukoon on the lam and say bait. The next one, ad-dik, you would put a shada on the del, right, and pronounce it as ad-dik. So the exercise is to take this and then write it, not just on there, but write it, because you have to practice the writing, right? Write these words and then put the correct symbol. Like if it requires a sukoon because it's a moon letter, like al-bait, then put a sukoon on the lam and then just write bait. If it's ad-dik, then put a shadda, skip the lam, put a shadda on the dal, and then keep going like that. Okay, inshallah. And that's the exercise for the homework. And we'll conclude what we have to do in lesson 4, inshallah. Got it? Nah. Yeah. Tamreen. Okay, so now we're back on level 2. Level 2 is Medina Book 1. Level 1 is the Arabic alphabet. We're on class 4 now, lesson 4. Medina Book 1. Huruful jar. Huruful jar or harful jar, prepositions. And prepositions mean basically positions, right? Usually where the thing is located, in front and back, on top, etc. Prepositions. And prepositions we're dealing with, so we're going to have al, we're going to have our definite articles, and we're going to have prepositions combined and see how the case endings of the words are impacted by prepositions so we can know what we're reading, inshallah. And this is the Darsu Rabi'a, and that's lesson 4, or the 4th lesson. And the first section of that is al-baytu. And you see that page, right? Al-baytu. Al-baytu. So we have al-baytu, the house. And we know that the case ending on al-baytu, we changed it to a single dhamma because it's a definite article. Because the al and dhammatain, the tanween of the dhamma, they don't get along. They are never anywhere around each other. So you'll never have al-baytun because it's definite. The only time you have the the dhamma, the tanween on the dhamma, is when it's an indefinite article. It could just be anything. Baytun, because it could be any house. But if it's a definite house, we say al-baytu. So we've got that down. Now we're connecting a preposition to it. So we have al-baytu. Then next to that we see fil bayti. Fil bayti. Now fil bayti, fi means in, right? So fil bait, in the house. Now that you have the preposition fi in front of it, that ending, the case ending, instead of being dhamma, has to be a kesra. The word becomes what's called majrur. Now remember we were talking about how the meme, when it's placed in front of something, it describes, it tells you what you're dealing with. If you have the dhamma in front of the word, it describes the one who has that characteristic, right? Like you have the word hamd. If you say Muhammad, M-U, you're saying the person who has the characteristic of being praised, right? Or jihad, you say mujahid, that's a person who's engaged in struggle, right? Okay, so Islam, you have Muslim. You see the pattern, right? So the M-U, the meme with the dhamma, refers to the one who has that characteristic. If you have something and you need to describe the tool that does it, we say fatah, it's open, right? Fatah. We say the fatiha is the opening. So what's the tool that opens doors? And that key is called miftah. See, miftah. So when it describes the tool that does the job, then you'll see meme kesra in front of it, right? So meme dhamma, the one who has the characteristics, meme kesra, the tool that does the job, right? Now, when you're referring to the place, When we prostrate, that's called what? Right? And since we make 2 prostrations every rakat, it's called sujood, right? Okay, that's the plural. So where's the place that you make sajda? What is it called? Masjid. So when you're describing the place that something takes place, then you have mim fatah, you see, in front of it. Kitab is book. Where do you go if you want to read books? Maktaba. You see? So the mim fatah refers to the place where the thing is done. Now when it comes to this situation where we're dealing with this descriptive words, we have you'll find mim fatah. So here we have a preposition is called harful jar, right? Harful jar. It means a particle that is a preposition. It describes location, etc. But the word that's being affected, you know the bait? We have al bait too. So that's a dhamma, right? When you put a preposition in front of it, now that word that's being hit with the jar, with the harful jar, is called majrur. You see what I mean? So harful jar, that means that word has to end with a kasra. So al baytu becomes fil bayti. Fil bayti. Al masjidu, the masjid, al masjidu, becomes fil masjidi. See the pattern? So because the preposition fi is in front of the noun, it gets a kasra. Now let's just say, for example, we were using baytun, just any house, okay? Baytun, a house. If we said fi in front of it, then we'd say fi baytin, because since it's a general house, not a specific place, it has to keep the tanween. You see? That double vowel is to be there to indicate this is a general subject, it's not specific. It's very important, okay? So when we say baytun, it's because there's no a letter, no a word in the Arabic. What makes something general or a something or an is by putting the tanween, the dhammatain. So the general default vowel ending for nouns is the dhamma, and dhammatain for general. So baytun, if you say fi in front of baytun, you have to say fi baytin, because you have to keep it the double dhamma because it's a general noun, okay? Since it's specific and it's al baytu, then when you put fi in front of it, it becomes fil bayti. Okay? So the same way that the al eliminates a double dhamma, when you put fil in front of it, you won't have a double kasra, you'll have a single kasra. We have al maktabu, al yamin just below on the right hand side, al maktabu. Then we have ilal maktabi. So fi means in, ila means upon. And this word ila with the ayn means upon, and since it's or on, and since it's a preposition, then al maktabu has to become al maktabi. Clear? And words like this, when you look at them, they're very important. When you see ila, that ila begins with an ayn. It doesn't begin with an aleph. It begins with an ayn. Ila. This is important to note because this is the beginning part of, if this was a ya with a sukoon, ayn, lam, and a ya with a sukoon, it would be ilay. You see? And when you put that suffix kaf, dhamma, mim, kum on the end of it, you have alaykum. This is very important because that's the word, not alaykum. It's 2 different words. You might not even be saying what you want to say when you say alaykum. You see? Ila is upon, alaykum, upon you. So when you say as-salam, the peace, you're saying alaykum, upon you, right? So seeing it and the way that it should be helps you understand that if you're saying as-salam alaykum, you could very well be saying something to somebody or nothing at all, right? Because with Arabic, either you're saying something else or nothing, or you're saying what you intend to say. So that, for us that's learning the language, that helps us because we'll focus more on saying what we want to say and what we intend to be saying. We'll focus more on writing what we mean to write. And what that does, it helps you also in your English. I said what I meant. What? You know what I mean? No, I meant what I said. Is there a problem? You know, or I didn't mean that. At least we know right? That is clear. So Ila Maktabi, upon the desk. Okay, Maktab is desk. Sarir, as-sarir. This is the bed. Sariru. Okay, so Ila Sarir, on the bed. Ila Sariri. Ila Sariri. So now we know that prepositions deal with location. We're going to use some examples. On the next sheet, you'll see some examples that we're going to use as it relates to location. So this first word, the aleph with the hamza over it, with the ya and the noon, is aina. Aina, aina means where. See, aina means where as a question. Remember how ma was used as a question? Ma had that. What is this, right? And ahada, is this so and so? Aina is a question. It's asking where. So we have Aina Muhammadun, Aina Muhammadun, Aina Muhammadun, Muhammadun. Because Muhammad is a general noun and it's a masculine, so it gets the tanween, Muhammadun, right? Aina Muhammadun. The masculine names take the tanween. So the question is, where is Muhammad? The answer, Huwa, he, Huwa is he, Fil, he is in Gorfa. A Gorfa is a room. But in this case, because we have, and Gorfa is a feminine, so it's actually Ta Mabudu on the end. So it would just be Al Gorfatu if it was by itself. But since he's in the room, Huwa Fil Gorfati. Huwa Fil Gorfati. So instead of Gorfatu, it's Gorfati because of Fi. The word Fi means in. Aina Muhammad. Where's Muhammad? Huwa Fil Gorfati. He is in the room. Wa aina Yasir. And where is Yasir? Huwa Fil Hammami. Huwa Fil Hammami. He is in the washroom, the restroom, the washroom. Now, here we have again the kesra because Hammam would be Hammamun, Al-Hammamu, but since we have Fi, is Huwa Fil Hammami. The washroom is a place where you go get cleaned up. Because of the way our settings are in our homes, usually when somebody said the hammam, they refer to the whole thing, the washroom, the toilet, the whole bit. There's a number of words, but hammam is a good general word to describe where you go when you make the dua before you go in. Now, then the question becomes, Wa'ina Amina? Wa'ina Amina? Now, female names don't take the tanween. Like Muhammadun, Yasirun, they take the damatain, right? Muhammadun, Yasirun. Okay? Female names like Amina, even though it has the ta mabuda on the end, it's pronounced as the ha. If you pronounce it, then it'll be Aminatu. Aminatu, not Aminatun, Aminatu. And so there's two names. We have Amina and we have Amina. Okay? Amina. So it's Aina Aminatu or Aina Amina. Where's Amina? Then we have the pronoun for she, which is hiya. So huwa is for he, hiya is for she. Hiya fil, now the feminists are going to get me for this one. Hiya fil matbakhi. Matbakhi. What's the matbakhi? Like use the code. If I said, huh? Yeah, you know how the sexist males would say the woman's place is in the kitchen. So all these examples, because this is a story about a household. Each person is located somewhere in the house. So here, fil matbakhi. Now this is not implying that's a place, but that's where she happened to be located at the time of the question, right? So I should be safe and feminist, inshallah. Okay. Aina Amina? Where is Amina? Here, fil matbakhi. Here, fil matbakhi. Right, Amina. Naam. Did I say Amina? I mean just now. Yeah, there is like there's a man named Amin, then there's a female named Amina. This is Amina. If you look at the mad over the aleph, you see the long slash over the aleph? That's the ah. See, if it was Amina, then it would have the meme with a ya to give you the long E sound. Amina, right? With the ya and the kesra. Okay? So here, fil matbahi. She is in the kitchen. Okay. Oh. Now, next to it, you see the word tabakh. Tabakh, right? Tabakh means chef or to cook. Okay? So, again, remember what we said? The place where the thing takes place, we have meme with a fatah in front of it. Fair enough? Meme with a fatah in front of it. So we have matbahi. So the matbakh is the place where cooking and things take place, which is the kitchen. Okay? So the root word, pa, ba, ha, those three words mean to cook, etc. Okay? That's why I put that next to it, so it can be seen as the root word. And also to take advantage of an opportunity to show how you have the meme with the fatah when it's describing the place where a thing takes place. Yeah, that's another thing too. The Arabic, the way it's written in some of the Qur'ans, the Arabic, the way it's written in the Medina book, that meme is like just up under the lam, just poke back, right? So like in Himar. In Himar, we would write straight across and write a meme and keep it going. In Himar, we had the meme like dropped under, right? See Himar right above Maktabi? I mean, Matbaki. Okay. So now we're asking about the location of a thing on the next line. Ain al Kitabu. Where is the book? Ain al Kitabu. Where is the book? Huwa ila al-maktab. Huwa ila al-maktabi. So now we have huwa. Why? Because so far all of the nouns that we studied in the first few lessons have been nouns that are masculine, singular. Mostly, right? Masculine. Kitab is a masculine noun. So when you say Ain al Kitab, where is the Kitab? Where is the book? You say huwa because the pronoun for the masculine it is huwa. So huwa is the pronoun for masculine he or an it that's masculine. So it is ilal on al-maktab. Huwa ilal maktabi. Because ila is a preposition, al-maktab has to end with a kesra. Huwa ilal maktabi. Okay? Where is the book? Huwa ilal maktabi. Wa'aina sa'at. Wa'aina sa'at. Wa'aina sa'at. I don't know why I said sa'at. Jumping to the ain. Wa'aina sa'at. This means, and where is, you know sa'a, like kem sa'a, like what time is it? What hour? Sa'a refers to hour. But as a noun, a device, it refers to a clock or a watch. Okay? So in this instance, we're asking where, because I mean, you can't be asking where is the hour. You'd have to ask when is the hour, right? So where will relate to something that's a noun, that's tangible, that's physical, that's somewhere, right? So a location. Aina sa'a, where is the watch? Now see, now sa'a, you notice that it has the ta mabuda on the end, the word sa'a, right? Because it's a feminine noun. Okay, sa'atu, it's a feminine noun. So the answer is hiya, the feminine pronoun hiya. Hiya ila sariri. Hiya ila sariri. Hiya ila sariri. It is on the bed. Hiya ila sariri. It is on the bed. Okay, no, don't worry about it. I'm telling the brother that's sitting, but don't worry about writing it fast because that's why we're counting on having the video, because you can always copy it. The idea is if you need to relax and just take the lesson, then do that and then write it when it's convenient for you, inshallah. Okay. Hiya ala sarir. The sarir is bed. Since it's ala, on, since a preposition, on the bed. So we, on the next page, we have what's called tamarin. Tamarin means plural. Tamarin means exercise. Tamarin is the plural. So we have a few exercises on the next sheet. The first exercise. يجب عنه okay. يجب if you want to. No, I was trying to keep up in both places, because some, huh? Yeah, because someone was indicating that they weren't able to keep up with writing with what I was saying, so that's why I indicated, they don't have the handout like we have here, so I indicated to just use the video, relax and take the lesson, and then use the video later for copying the notes, inshallah. Okay. إجاب عنه أسئلة أتيت. This means answer. An is about or regarding. As'ilatu is questions, plural. A question is su'al. As'ilatu would be questions. But since we have ayn, the ayn with the noon, an, preposition, harfu jar, as'ilatu would be as'ilati. So answer the following questions. Atiya means following. So this is the first exercise, is to answer the following questions. Now the idea is this. The idea is that we just read some information about something that's going on in the house, right? We found out that so-and-so is in such and such a room, so-and-so is in the kitchen, so-and-so is in the hammam, so-and-so is, such and such a thing is on the desk, such and such a thing is on the bed, etc., right? Okay, so when it says answer the following questions, it's asking us to answer those questions based upon the information that we just provided, right? So the question, Ain al-Kitab. So the first question is, where is the book? So where is the book? Is it on that page where the question is? Ain al-Kitab. Are you on the page? Are you on the page with where it says Tamarin at the top? You're on the page that says Tamarin at the top, right? And then the first exercise starts with Ajib, huh? Okay, so the question number 1, Ain al-Kitab. You see that question? Isn't there an answer next to it? What's the answer? Huwa ala al-Maktabi. So the question is, where is the book? Huwa ala al-Maktabi. It is. Naam. Alhamdulillah. The next one, Aina Muhammadun. Where is Muhammad? Now, where is Muhammad? What does it start with? No, I mean, what does the word that you're working on start with? Okay, that's al, but what does the word start with? The way that you know the difference between these two letters is that The fa is going to be a circle, and the ghain is going to be darkened. Which one do you see? Okay. So who I feel? Huh? Finish it. Nah. Right? Because that's ta mabuda, right? And it has a kesra on the end. Right. Like, for example, if you say gorfa, then that's the word for the room, right? But because you're saying it with a preposition in front of it, then you're going to pronounce the last vowel, and to do so, you have to now pronounce the ha as ta. So you say huwa fil gorfati. Right, huwa fil gorfati. Gorfa being a feminine noun, it has ta mabuda on the end, so the ta takes pronunciation. If you pronounce that vowel, that kesra, you have to pronounce it with the ta instead of the ha. The only time that the ha on the end of the word will be pronounced as a ha if it's a masculine noun. Like, for example, like Allah's name. On the end of Allah, we have that ha, but it doesn't have the two dots like ta mabuda because it's not a masculine feminine name, right? So we don't say Allahu Akbar, we say Allahu Akbar, right? So that's the difference between a letter with the ha on the end when it's a masculine noun, and the letter with the ha with the two dots, which is the ta mabuda on the end. Okay. Okay. So here, huwa fil gorfati. So Muhammad, he's in the room, right? Is that what the gorfa is? The room. Okay. The next one, Aina Sa'at. Aina Sa'at, where is the watch? Jawab. So that was su'al, that was the question. Jawab is the answer. Al-Jawab, the answer. Sarir, Sarir, Sarir. You roll the R like the Spanish, the same way. Sarir. So here, because the sa'ad is feminine, right? Here, ayla, upon or on, the sarir, as-sarir, the bed. Here, aylas sarir. And remember, aylas, you have to pronounce that sin twice because it's a sun letter, right? You can't say ayla al-sarir. It's aylas sarir. Not Ailel, but Ayla Sarir, right? Hayya Ayla Swala. Hayya Ayla Swala. Right? It's a little bit different, but you see what I mean, right? Yeah, but you're not gonna say Ayla and Ah. That fatha with the lam is gonna carry past that aleph and that lam to the first seam. So you're gonna say Aylas. Aylas Sarir. Aylas Sarir. If it was a moon letter, you say Ailel, like Ailel Maktab, like you did earlier. See? Huwa Ailel Maktab. Aina Kitab, where's the book? Huwa Ailel Maktab. It is on the desk. In this case, when you say where's the watch, you say here Aylas Sarir. Aylas Sarir. You're going to double the scene because it's a sun letter. Okay? Next is Aina Yasir. Where is Yasir? Huwa fil hamami. He is in the hammam. Huwa fil hamami. Right? Because you have the preposition. And then Al Yamin on the right. And then Aina Amina, Aminatu, Aina Amina, where is Amina? So now we're being tried with remembering where everybody and everything was in the room that we read about in the page before, right? Aina Amina, so where is Amina? Yeah, but tell me in Arabic. I mean, you got it right. You see how different the Arabic feels when you're reading it out loud? Like if you're reading it in your head, it seems like you could just kind of breeze through it a little bit, right? But when you have to hear yourself saying it, you realize it's good to practice reading and good to practice reading out loud because it gets more comfortable after a while. So here, Phil. Now remember, not key because that's a ha. Matbach. Matbachi. Achi. People say aki, right? It was achi. Right? Matbachi. Right? Matbachi. So she is in what? I'll leave you to the feminist. Where is she? I can't hear you. Okay. All right. So the next one, on the next sheet, you see it starts with amina, aminatu. We have that aleph with the hamza and the fatah in front of Amina's name, in front of Amina. That's turning it into an interrogatory. That's setting up a question. That's called hamzatul istifham. It means the hamza that's asking a question. The hamza that's seeking understanding. Istifham literally means to seek understanding, right? And again, it would be nice if all questions people ask were for seeking understanding, right? With the hamza in front, on top of it, right in front of Amina. You see it there? Yeah. So that's turning into a question. So it's asking you, is Amina, right? Amina too? Feel the Ghorfati? Is Amina in the room? Now here's something important to note. It would be easy for us to answer this question by saying, no, she's in the kitchen, right? You know, la hiya fil matbahi, right? But it's not really asking as much about Amina. Now watch this. It's not really asking you as much about Amina, but think about it this way. We're in the house, right? And it's asking you, Amina fil matbahi? I mean, fil Ghorfati? Now, you could say, if somebody just came to you and asked you that, you could say, la, hiya fil matbahi. No, she's in the kitchen, right? But the question is really not asking in this case. The question not asking about Amina, you know what it's asking? Say we're all in the house and somebody heard a sound in the room, right? And then they say to you, is Amina in the room? So now they're not really asking you necessarily where she is, but they're trying to find out who's in the room, right? So do it that way. Do it as if the question is asking you really trying to find out who's in the room. So is Amina, meaning is she the one who's in the room? So your answer would be? Right. Muhammadun fil Ghorfati. La. Because the other thing to remember about the when you see the aleph with the hamza turning man, do the classes. Anyway, it's making emphasis on not just the question, but it's a certain type of question. It's a question who jawabuhu, its answer is nam or la. It's yes or no. So when you put the in front of a statement to turn into a question, it's a question that requires a yes or a no. See? So is Amina in the Ghorfati in the room? Your answer is, first part of the answer is la, right? No. Muhammadun fil Ghorfati. Muhammad is in the room. Next question. Ayasir fil matbahi? Fil matbahi? Is Yasir in the kitchen? Right? So we see the questions asking about the locations, right? Is Yasir the one that's in the kitchen? What's the answer? Amina. Remember, if you observe, not only do you see the madda over the aleph, but there's no ya to make the kesra long e. Okay. Amina. Fil. Remember the Kesra carries over past that Aleph to the Lam. Fil. Fil. Is there a Dhamma over the meme? So you can't say Mutbaki. Matbachi. Right. So you say a Yasra fil Matbachi? La. Amina fil Matbachi. Right? Yasser is not in the kitchen. Amina is in the kitchen. Next. Now we have the question. We have a word that asks a question, but it's always asking about something with an aql. You can't use this word for inanimate objects or animals, which is men. Right? Mim fatanun. Men. Huh? Say it again. Oh yeah? Oh. Okay. Mashallah. But you found it quick though, right? Okay. Okay, so men has to be reference to who is this and not what is this. Right? So men is asking who. So men feel Ghurfati. So who is in the room? Okay? We found out Amina, she's not in the room. Even though we got the answer up there, Muhammad is in the room. So now it's a new way the question is being asked. Man fil Ghurfati. Who is in the room? The answer is Ghurfati. See, there's Ghurfati and Ghurfati. If there was a ya on there, Ghurfati would be possessional. There's a ya called the ya nesba, the ya mutakalam. The ya nesba is the ya you use when you ascribe yourself to something. Like if you say you from Oklahoma, right? And you say, then we call you Isaiah al-Oklahomi. The E on the end is that ya is ascribing you to the place where you're from, right? Al-Floridi, Al-Amriki for American, right? Like that. That ya on the end, that's the ya nesba for ascription. Now, the ya mutakalam is the ya of the person doing the talking, and usually in reference to themselves or their possession. So in this case, if you say Ghurfati with the long E sound, you're saying my room. You see, Ghurfati, but it's Ghurfati, meaning it's just a short I sound, Ghurfati. Because the preposition makes you say Ghurfati instead of Ghurfatu. So Muhammadun fil Ghurfati. Okay? Alright, alhamdulillah. So the next question asks again, Waman fil Hamami. Then who is in the Hammam? What's the answer? Now remember, these two syllables can't be even. All syllables in Arabic are even, unless there's elongated vowel. The one that has the elongated vowel, that syllable is going to be a little bit longer than the next syllable. So in this case, it won't be Yasir, it's Yasir. See? Yasir. You have to have ya. Now, you're going to elongate the Fatah sound a little bit more than the next syllable. Yasirun. Because there's a tanween, damatain. Yasirun. But doesn't that meme have an aleph behind it? Always surmise that when you see the aleph connected, it's elongating a fatah. Because as you move forward, you're going to see a lot of words that don't have the harakat, don't have the vowel symbols. But if you let observation be your guide, you'll see that the word is telling you how to pronounce it. So that aleph is letting you know between the meme and the aleph, there's a fatah there. So you say Yasirun, right? So that even if we didn't have a fatah at the beginning of Yasir, we know it's Ya because of that aleph. So it's Yasirun, right? Fil Hammami. Hammami. See? That's Hammam. And you pronounce it, huh? Now, if you see that, because see, you have three short vowels, right? Fatha, Kesra, and Dhamma. But Aleph, Waw, and Ya, although they're letters of the alphabet, they're also described as long vowels. See, so the key is, right? Aleph is the first letter of the alphabet, right? So you think of Aleph as its relationship to A. And in Arabic, that A is Fatha. So Aleph is here to help Fatha. Waw, Dhamma looks like a miniature Waw, right? So Waw is here to help Dhamma. Ya replaces I in our language, right? We have A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. If you write the word sky in English, how you spell it? Right? That's that Ya, that's that Y, right? In Arabic, Ya is here to help Kesra. The short I become a long E. Okay? Rahim is the womb. Rahim has the Ya. Okay? So if you see, generally, if you see the Ya, in general, is there to help a Kesra. If you see the Waw, in general, is there to help a Dhamma. If you see the Aleph, in general, is there to help a Fatha. You're going to learn the different cases and where it's a diphthong or it's not applying. For example, we say Assalamu alaikum, right? So after the lam, we have a Fatha, then we have a Ya. So it makes us pronounce the A as A, like in English, right? Same thing like when you have the letter Fatha and it's followed by a Waw, you're going to get or, like in the word saw, right? So we say Yom Medin, Yom, you see? So those are only instances, you see the different exceptions like that. Otherwise, Aleph is usually telling you there's a Fatha there. In the general sense, it's impacting the word like that. So, yeah, if you didn't see vowels, you'd say Yasir. Right, Yasirun. And the Kesra on the end, Hamami, right? Hammam. Now remember, you're pronouncing the meme twice, right? Because the Shadda, right? And this is what's so sweet about the Arabic. The Shadda is like a word like Shidda, which means extreme, harsh, right? And Shadda is also a word that means to exaggerate. So even though you only see one meme there, exaggerate. Say it as though you see two, right? And what's the symbol look like? A double U, telling you to double it, right? So there's a lot of little things that you could use for clues. Like a lot of the Arabic, learning it is not only going to be memorizing, because you got to work on memorizing vocabulary, right? Things like that. But a lot of Arabic is going to come from just paying attention, and stuff is going to come to you like, okay, and you'll have your own clues that tell you. It won't be like the things that I'm saying. They may help, but you'll start developing your own clues that make you remember what it is, according to how it relates to you, okay? Inshallah ta'ala. May Allah give us all success with that. Okay, the next one says, Madha ilal maktabi. Now, Madha is another way of saying what? Madha. Madha ilal maktabi. Okay, so now the question is, so what's on the desk? Right? It's asking about, based on what we had in our discussion, telling us where everything was in the house, right? So, Madha ilal maktab. What is on the desk? And the answer is that lam on Ila, that lam with that fatha, you carry that fatha sound past that aleph to the lam on the next word, right? And you say ilal. Right. Now see, with Arabic, because we have to practice, we have to read because in English, we see the word, we know the word by its shape. We know words on sight, right? By their shape. If we learned how to pronounce a word, so when we read English, we don't read English letter by letter, and then say something, right? No, we see the word, we see something, right? So you work on reading the word by its sight. The words have a shape. Maktab has a shape. So you say Ilal Maktab. Or you take your time, you say Ilal, but just remember that you have to keep that sound of that letter going past that aleph. That's called Hamza to Wasl. Wasl means to continue, it's a continuation. So you say Ilal Maktabi. right? So the question, ماذا على المكتب? So what is on the desk? الكتاب على المكتب. The book is on the desk. نعم. Okay. The last one. ماذا على you hear that? ماذا على السرير. ماذا على السرير. What is on the bed? And the answer is the vowel sound of the last letter past the aleph to the lam, or it's called wasl. Continuation, yeah, wasl. That aleph there is called hamza to wasl. It's a hamza that's letting you continue. Because we say aleph, but this is also referred to as hamza. So it's hamza to wasl. It means it's a wasl. You're carrying over to the very first letter that you can do. Now, the continuation means continue to the letter that is allowable. If the letter that's going to be the first letter of the word, because what you have a definite article, right? It's going to be al something. So the letter that's going to be the first letter of the word of that noun, if it's a moon letter, you're going to stop on that lam and say al, right? If it's a sun letter, you're going to skip the aleph and the lam and land on that sun letter and say it twice. So if it's Ayla and the first letter is a sin, you're going to say Aylas because you're going to pronounce the first sin, right? What you're doing is this. You know it's double. So when it's a sun letter, you're going to take one of those S's, one of those sins, and keep it with Ayla. And you're going to say Aylas as one syllable. And then you're going to say Sariri. Right, Aylas Sariri. So whenever something has tashdid, which means it has a shadda, it's double, the first letter, that first S or that first sin is going back with that other word. It'll be Aylas. That's it, Aylas. And then Sariri. That way you know you pronounce it twice. It's like if you were writing it in English, you would write like this. You say Ayla, Ayn. I use apostrophes to represent Ayn, right? Some people use a 3. You say A-L-A-S. You see, Aylas, and then Sariri. Aylas Sariri. Like two words like that, where the first S, the first scene, is ending on the Ayla. Right. Mada Ayla Sariri, right? Mada. Now these are two syllables that are both long, because the meme has an aleph and the dal has an aleph. Mada, like hada, right? Mada, because the meme has aleph. That's ma, dal has aleph. Mada, right? Then what is on the sarir? So what's the answer? As-sa'a, two. Excellent. Allah Sariri. Alhamdulillah. So we're saying the watch is on the bed. So we've answered the questions, right? So you've answered Egypt with an ED on it, Egypt. So you've answered the questions that were applied here. So on the next page we have an exercise. Iqra wa'aktub, read and write with putting the ending on the words. Of course, putting the correct endings on the words. Okay? Iqra wa'aktub adapt al-akhir kalimat. So read and write. This exercise is for you to read these words and write them, putting the correct ending. So you have, for example, al-madrasatu, and this is another thing too to know that we don't have consonant blends. We have the letter fa with a th type sound, right? But that's one letter that has that sound. We don't take a ta and a ha in Arabic and put them together to make a fa sound, right? So we won't say fa if we have a ta and a ha. We'll say fat ha, right? That's correct. So when we have words like madrasa, we don't have madrasa. Like people say madrasa. like the DR is together. It's madrasa, madrasa, right? So al-madrasa too, the root word is dars. Dars is a lesson, okay? The one who teaches the lesson, here we go again, when we talk about putting the meme in front of it. Dars is lesson or instruction, right? The one who teaches it, who has that characteristic, is the mudarris, right? Meme dhamma. The place where you go to get lessons, which we call a school, is madrasa, right? Madrasa. So we see another example, right? The consistency. When you put meme in front of it, the dhamma refers to one who has the characteristics, the instructor. When you put the meme with a fatha, it refers to the place, okay? So we say al-madrasa too. But when we put fi in front of it, we say fil madrasati. So that's what it wants you to do. You take these words, put the correct endings on them. Al-madrasatu, fil madrasati. Now, the kasra is because the word has become what's called majrur. It's being hit with a harful jar. It's being hit with a preposition. So when a preposition is in front of the word, the words it's called declension, where the vowels decline to tell you what's happening in the sentence. So if you put a preposition in front of the noun, you have to end that noun with kesra. You see what I mean? You end it with a kesra. So fi being a preposition, fil madrasati, in the school, you put a kesra on the end instead of a dhamma. So the first one would be al madrasatu. The second one would be fil madrasati. The third one would be fil bayti. You see? Because fil bayti, because you have the preposition, the harful jar. So you have fil bayti, al baytu, al ghurfat, al ghurfa, al ghurfatu, al hamamu, fil matbakhi, al maktabu, like that. I'm not going to do all of them, but we almost did all of them. But you see what I mean? So you want to write those and then put the correct endings on them. You understand, fi? Right. So now that rule applies with all prepositions impacting a noun. Ila is on, right? Preposition. So if you say fil maktaba, so we have the library, the place, maktaba, right? Okay, fil maktaba, in the library, right? Maktab, the desk. Ila maktab, on the desk, right? Tahtal maktab, under the desk. Prepositions will always make you say kesra. Ila maktaba, ila maktab, tahtil maktab. Yes, anything that's a preposition, the noun takes the kesra. So ila is a preposition because it means on. That's a preposition, right? Fi is a preposition. Think about it. Preposition, preposition, referring to the location, referring to the position, right? So, like, I give you an example because what a lot of people get mixed up by language. Like, for example, imam, right? The person who's the prayer leader, right? Comes from the word amam, which means to be in front, right? Khalfi means to be behind. All prepositions, right? Ila, on, right? Tahti, under, right? Then you have fawq, above, like that. Okay, so all of those are identifying positions. Preposition. Now, the reason why I mentioned about the imam thing is this. Here's an Islamic example. Some of the things that we've learned, for example, in America, and let's get this clear, this is not to blame people from a culture, but a lot of the language, because we didn't know the language, a lot of the errors in the religion sometimes come from people who know the language and to identify things by language instead of how the Quran and the Sunnah define it, okay? So here you have this. Imam comes from amam, which means to be in front, right? So what happens when two people are praying together? I mean, I experience it a lot, right? In different places I've been in this country, I experience this all the time. If somebody's praying with me by themselves, they'll put their feet a little bit behind mine, right? Because imam means to be in front, right? Because of the root word amam. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, istawu, right? Straighten your rows. right? La tusawuna safufukum. Don't let there be any issues as it relates to your ranks, right? When there's two people, you straight in the row. When they're together, they're in a row. So that's the fiqh, that's the Islamic position, right? The linguistic, with the person leading be imam, we assume they should be imam in front by some degree. Do you realize there's no place that's ever been indicated anywhere? I don't even think there's even a false hadith telling people to put their feet a little bit behind. That's an assessment from linguistics. See what I mean? You won't find yourself reading anything unless you read one of those books like, not to offend our brothers in Pakistan, but we used to get a lot of books from Lahore, Pakistan, and things like that they just wrote stuff. You know, they'll even have a hadith that just say hadith at the end. A lot of made up stuff, but I don't even think you're going to find a fabricated hadith. I've never seen a hadith, even made up that says when two people are praying together that the feet of the one on the right should be slightly behind. The imam should be slightly ahead. That's words that people have written based on the linguistics, right? So while you're trying to learn the Arabic, it's good to study as much knowledge as you can about the religion, so you still know the religion, so that when you begin studying the Arabic, you won't be fooled into thinking everything that's Arabic is necessarily explanation or correct as it relates to the deen. See what I mean? But anyway, so that's an example. Okay, so we have fi, ila. Any word that you learn that's a preposition will always lead in general to the kasra coming on the end of the noun. Because the default ending for the nouns is the dhamma, and then it's impacted by other things coming in front of it. Like, for example, we say Muhammad, right? Muhammadan, right? But when we testify and we say that, when we say anna, we say Muhammadan. Now we have changed the dhamma thing to fatah. So different words impact the noun, and then the noun responds with a specific vowel on the end, you see? And we'll get into that too. We have the different senses, different cases of the nouns, and we're going to get into that too, inshallah. Okay? So this exercise, this second exercise requires to write these words, read these words and write them, right? Not just read them and mark them. Read these words and take a note paper, and it's always good to use paper with lines so you can keep all the letters where they belong on the line. Write these words and put the correct endings on them. Okay? And then the next part of the exercise under it, Ikra Waqtu. This is just wants you to read these words and write them. Say, like, for example, it says at-talibu fil jamia. Fil jamiati. Jamia, the jamia is a university. Okay? The jamia. So he's saying the student is in the university, like that. Ar-rajulu fil masjidi. The man is in the masjid. And so forth. Excuse me. I'm really sorry about that. And so forth and so on. Aina tajir. Where is the merchant? Aina tajir. Huwa fil dukani. He is in the market. And so forth and so on, like that. Okay? That's what those examples on the bottom are. And that's where we are as relates to this fourth lesson. So as we go further, we'll be discussing more. But this, from lesson 1 to 4, the Medina book, from lesson 1 to 4, is so jam-packed with benefit as it relates to the Arabic language. It's unbelievable. There are so many things that you learn related to the language in these 4 lessons. If you're following them step by step, if you're doing the notes, if you're doing the homework, if you're writing, you have to write. You have to give yourself that relationship with your hands and the Arabic language. Because as you're writing, why you think in English when you're in school, they have the kids writing the word 10 times across, 5 times across, because by writing it, You're developing a relationship with the letters that make up that word. You're writing those letters, so you're learning that word. That word more easily becomes a sight word for you. You become more familiar with it, the way that it's written. When you remember what you went through to write that letter tar in the middle of, at the beginning of the word tar here, things like that. When you're writing it, you have it. Like, for example, you might meet somebody that said the name is Tariq. And then as you're reading, you realize the name is Tariq, like the surah, the Tariq, right? We have Tahir, right? Like we might have somebody whose name is Tahir, but it's Tahir because it's the tar that's at the beginning. Things like that, you see? There's a lot of things that you're going to discover by writing because you're looking at every letter connected to the word. We think we're going to learn by taking a paper and writing on the Arabic that's already there, put the endings. You're not going to learn like that because all you do is going towards the end. You're looking at the preposition. Okay, I'm going to catch that on that one. But it's not really making you read. It causes you to be lazy. See what I mean? You never take the training wheels off. So when you're writing it all the way through, you're learning. The thing that's going to happen for a lot of people, Akhri, I'm telling you, the people have been doing this for years, trying to learn Arabic. They may have been places where the Arabic classes started and stopped the whole bit. You have to take the idea that I don't want to have any regrets, right? I'm going to get it now because it may not be available later. I'm going to get it now. So and the thing about it too is when you're getting knowledge one thing at a time, down the road you have a whole bunch of pieces of knowledge. So you have a thing compiled. If you're doing the notes in a notebook, class by class, homework by homework, assignment by assignment, when you finish filling that book, it's a book of things you know. You got a notebook, I know the whole notebook. Yeah, but when you finish these 22 lessons, we'll be finished the Medina book after 22 lessons, inshallah. That means at the end of 22 lessons, everybody who's following this and doing the homework and making the notes and writing and following the instructions and the advices, they will know the whole Medina book. I mean, they can pick up the Medina book, open the pages and read it and comfortably know what everything is saying because they're studying the vocabulary words, they're reading, practicing. If you do the work now, it's less work to do in the bigger picture. See? Because it's a little bit of work at a time. May Allah make dedication, grant us that we all gain mastery of this first book, and especially the first 4 lessons in this book. Ameen. So I encourage everyone to do the homework, do the assignments, write. If nobody else in the world ever sees it, write so that you know it. Write, inshallah ta'ala. Any questions? If you go into the group, right, I'll tag the other 3 classes and they'll be up at the top. All you have to do is, even if you don't listen to the whole class, you can fast forward to every place where there's notes. You know what I mean? Like what you have here, all I've printed out is the PowerPoint that I showed to the people online. So what you do, you press play, fast forward, click on the spots, you'll see something like these notes. You stop right there and you'll be fine. That's taking advantage of this technology. See what I mean? It's there. And when you land on a page, if something's not clear, you can press play because that page will be getting talked about, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. Did you find anything that was still familiar? Alhamdulillah. Men. Men is from man is who, right? So you have ma refers to Mufrad, it refers to a singular thing, right? Ma, it asks about something that's singular. Uh, and Mudhakir, no, I'm thinking about have that now. Ma refers to something that is gair, right? Without or other than or not, right? Without intellect. Okay. The next quiz. Inshallah, I'm glad that you took the time to do the quiz. Alhamdulillah. Did the score show? I mean, I don't want you to tell me the score. Did it show you your score? Okay, alhamdulillah. I just want to make sure it's working. Okay, alhamdulillah. Huh? Now, so it says, I had that waladun, right? Like that, right? I had that waladun. Is this a boy? And then what were the answer options? Like, la had that rajulun, right? La had that rajulun. Or it might say, had that, yeah, right, had that kitab. So which answer you think is right? Why? But what's telling you that it's aqua? You know what gives you the answer, the best answer? I don't know if I should say that because you got people who haven't taken the test yet. Huh? Okay, well, since you took the test already, I'll tell you when we close out because I don't, I don't want to give that away because that's an important point that I'm using to say if you're paying attention through the classes, it's gonna jump out because I said it tonight. If anybody was really checking out, I said it tonight, which is the answer to your question, and I'll explain that inshallah until we close out. Any questions online? Inshallah, I'm going to close out. Okay, inshallah ta'ala, on that note, we're going to close out. Everything that was presented that is correct, of course, is from Allah Ta'ala, and any shortcomings, any errors or blunders are from myself and Shaitan, and I seek refuge in Allah from that. From Shaitan and misinforming. If I get any information that something I said or did was incorrect, then I'll correct it in our next sitting, inshallah ta'ala. Of course, I seek Allah's forgiveness for you and for me. أقول لك هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت وأستغفرك وأتوب إليك والصلاة والسلام على رسوله كريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين.